Here we go. We have another loaded 49ers report coming your way on this fine Wednesday, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in. Appreciate all of you for making the 49ers report a part of your day. As for what we're getting into on today's show, Tom Brady retires. Prior to that, San Francisco, number one in the betting odds to land him in free agency. What do they do now? Trent Williams yesterday at his postseason press conference, not ruling out potentially retiring this year and hanging it up. That would be a huge problem, as he is the best left tackle in the game. And could San Francisco, now that they can't get Tom Brady seemingly after his retirement announcement, pivot, shift gears, and trade for Aaron Rodgers? Mike Silver, longtime Bay Area reporter, talked about that. First, we want to thank the faithful for supporting the show. We surpassed 78,000 subscribers, and if you're looking for great Niners content out there to keep you informed and in the know with this football team all year round, with shows coming your way every day, make sure you subscribe and lock us in. So the big news in the football universe today, Tom Brady for the second time retiring, and right now it seems as though this one is going to be final. Brady announcing that retirement on social media this morning. Assuming that he doesn't unretire again, the 49ers going to need to figure out a plan at quarterback if they were planning on going after Tom Brady. And there was a lot of buzz that San Francisco and TB12 may have had some mutual interest, especially with the injury to Brock Purdy and really the unsure nature of Trey Lance moving forward. Brady had been rumored to potentially join San Francisco if he were to play in 2023 to continue his illustrious career. And this time it really seems legit. Last year, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Tom Brady had thrown for the most passing yards in his career. He had played well, and the timing of that retirement announcement was somewhat odd. Then he got the itch after a couple of weeks of being retired and decided to get back on the football field to give it one more go. But when you've watched him this year, he seemed to be very frustrated. I still think he played at a solid level, although the accuracy not quite there. It looked as though when you watch Tom Brady play that he wasn't fully invested. And for athletes who aren't fully invested, who have been in the league for so long and they already had their legacies intact, for a guy like Tom Brady, if you're not feeling like you're 100% all in on your craft, then it's time to just walk away. So this time, I do think that this retirement announcement is going to be final. But the big question here now, what do the Niners do at quarterback? We're not sure the severity of Brock Purdy's elbow injury. Is it going to be a reconstruction or a repair of the ulnar collateral ligament in his elbow? Is it going to be full Tommy John surgery? If that's the case, he could be out for 12 calendar months. Trey Lance did say yesterday at his postseason press conference that he's on track to be clear for practice type of reps here over the next couple of weeks. So his recovery is coming along nicely after he got that second ankle surgery back a couple of weeks ago. If San Francisco's confident that Trey Lance can be that guy, then he can be penciled in as the starter. Or if Purdy's able to come back in due time prior to the season, even though I think it's a big concern that going into his sophomore campaign, he's not going to be able to work on some of his flaws and work on his game instead of his elbow recovery, then you can maybe have Brock Purdy and Trey Lance duke it out. But Tom Brady coming to this team certainly fit the timeline and the roster for going all in on a Super Bowl in 2023 with a team that is ready to compete right now. My take on all of this, Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers have to get the quarterback position right. It's the one big question mark that is holding San Francisco back from winning that sixth Super Bowl championship. Can they win it with Trey Lance? I think he's gifted. I think he has a lot of potential, but the guy has made 21 combined starts in the NFL and at North Dakota State going all the way back to 2019. And Purdy, while he played well, went 7-0 in his starts prior to the NFC Championship game defeat, and displayed some really good quarterback qualities in the 8 games that he played. There are questions about him. He's a little bit slight, a little bit small. The arm strength isn't great by any means. Do you even bring back Jimmy Garoppolo? Is that something that this organization might explore? Or do you go after a guy like Aaron Rodgers? Or could Tom Brady come out of retirement? San Francisco already has become one of the most fascinating teams in the NFL heading into the 2023 offseason. This is why it's so important for San Francisco to get that quarterback position right, because it is the one lone thing that is holding the Niners back from getting on that quest for 6 Lombardi trophies. This is the 49ers foundation by age. And moving forward with all of these players under contract, you have this special nucleus together that I'd pit up there with any other team in the NFL as far as a core foundation of players goes. But on the offensive side of the football specifically, you have to strike while the iron is hot, because some of these players are getting up there in age and they're either exiting their primes or are in the tail end of their primes. Trent Williams is 34 years old. He's not ruling out retirement this offseason. Kyle Juszczyk is 31 years old. Eric Armstead played really good football once he came back from injury. He's 29. Deebo Samuel has only played one full season of football since getting drafted in the second round in 2019. He's already 27, but he is under contract for the next couple of years. All-Pro Fred Warner, best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. He's 26. Charvarius Mooney-Ward was more so good than bad this year. I like him moving forward as a cornerback. He's 26 years old. Christian McCaffrey has a lot of mileage on the tires, so could his prime be coming to an end soon, even though he had almost 2,000 all-purpose yards this year? Nick Bosa set to get paid 18.5 sacks this year, 25 years old. Dre Greenlaw played at an all-pro caliber level. He too is 25, and Brandon Ayuk, 24 years old. He's going to be looking for a new contract soon, coming off his first season in which he surpassed 1,000 receiving yards. Then you look at Brock Purdy. He's 23. Talanoa Hufanga was an AP All-Pro, still only 23. And Trey Lance, soon to be 23 years old in May. But the point here being, San Francisco has to get the quarterback position right, because everywhere else across this roster and with your coaching staff, you are equipped to win a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan just needs to have a quarterback who can play at a solid level. I'm not even saying a great level, in order for him to finally get that Lombardi trophy, sport that ring, because that's the one thing missing from his resume. So, faithful, let me gauge where you're at. Can the 49ers win the Super Bowl next year? W for yes, L for no. Let me know. Still to come, Trent Williams not ruling out retirement. What did he say? We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to explore these Aaron Rodgers trade rumors. First, though, the 49ers Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 every single day, and it's become a crucial part of my everyday routine. And you can get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because, given my work schedule at Chat Sports, combined with my training regimen, as I've run every day for 250 plus straight days going all the way back to June 1, I wanted sustained energy. I wanted to stay healthy, keep my immune system strong so that I can give you Niners shows every day, and I can strive in the process toward my professional work life and personal fitness goals. I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine, and it really does set the foundation and the table for the rest of my day. It's helped many things. My gut health, boosted my energy, supports my immune system, and helps me recover quicker since I'm putting such a toll on my body. I've really prioritized my health, which is why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. I simply mix one small scoop of AG1 with water, and I drink it first thing each morning or before and after my workouts. I also absolutely love that something that's this good for you in prioritizing your health and wellness costs less than $3 per day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, Athletic Greens is here for you, and they are giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, which will also keep you healthy, has so many health benefits, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Head to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. That link is in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. This is a sponsor that means a lot to me because I have really prioritized my health, and if you want to do the same, Athletic Greens is where it's at. Now, going back to whether or not the 49ers can win a Super Bowl next year, here are the updated Super Bowl 58 odds. You see where San Francisco is, ahead of the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles, behind the Chiefs, behind the Bills. The odds makers are saying here that the Niners have a great opportunity to hoist that Lombardi trophy. But if they don't have Trent Williams next year, that's a serious problem from the locker room yesterday, Trent Williams saying at his end of the season press conference that he's not ruling out retirement after another, quote, grueling season. Here's exactly what Trent Williams had to say, who's still the best left tackle in the game. It's a long season. Having 2 long seasons back-to-back, it does get pretty grueling for a 34-year-old guy like myself. Back-to-back NFC Championship games, by the way. You do kind of think about what's life like after football, because I've done this every year of my life since 2nd grade. You do get to that age, especially after ending the year like this, and it being as exhausting as it was and still not getting quite where you want to be. I get it. You get to that age. Honestly, I'm just taking it one day at a time, and we'll see how it goes. Well, we know how it went with Trent Williams on the field this year and over the last couple of years with the Niners, and before that with the Washington Commanders. Overall Pro Football Focus grade, even though he is 34 years old, one of the tops in the league. 93. Run blocking grade, nearly 88. Pass blocking grade, 93. He had a clean sheet against Micah Parsons 2 weeks ago in the divisional round, and he surrendered just 1 sack this year. Trent Williams is a fantastic player. The Niners need Trent Williams. They already have questions at right tackle with Mike McGlinchey. If he retires and they don't have a first-round pick to get that future left tackle, that right there, folks, is a serious problem. More from Trent Williams on retiring. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have played this game for as long as I have, and whatever God has in the future for me, I know I'll have it. But to answer your question, yeah, it does get a little like a rerun almost. So Trent Williams not ruling out retirement. And if the 49ers do lose Trent Williams, going back to my original point, San Francisco is kind of screwed. I mean, left tackle outside of quarterback and edge rusher, up there with some of the most important positions in all of sports. And again, you already had those questions at right tackle with Mike McGlinchey, questions at center as well on this offensive line. And we saw this is a Niners offensive line that got exposed against Dallas and Philadelphia in the last 2 games in the playoffs. So what do you think? Look into your crystal ball. What do you see happening here? Will Trent Williams retire this offseason? Y for yes, N for no. Take a guess and comment down below. As for Aaron Rodgers, could the San Francisco 49ers, now that Tom Brady has retired, pivot, shift gears, and trade for Aaron Rodgers? This fits the timeline of the 49ers being currently in this Super Bowl window and making a big splash and giving Kyle Shanahan the best quarterback that he's ever had to coach as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Aaron Rodgers this year, Packers didn't make the playoffs, but the arm strength is still there. The weaponry with Green Bay wasn't all that good. Still completed nearly 65% of his passes for 3,700 yards through 26 touchdowns to 12 picks. But in the previous 2 years prior to 2022, we're talking about the reigning MVP, and he, like Tom Brady, seemed to be annoyed and fatigued with the situations, respectively, with their current franchises. As for the other teams that could be interested in an Aaron Rodgers trade and what he had to say to Pat McAfee the other day, certainly interesting. Tennessee Titans looking for a quarterback. Las Vegas Raiders are as well because they cut bait with Derek Carr. The New York Jets have been the heavily rumored team to be in on the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. 49ers are there as we're talking about it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, could he follow the footsteps of Tom Brady? They still have a really good roster with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin at that receiver spot with a good offensive line. And the Washington Commanders are desperate, and I mean desperate, to have a consistent winner and player at that quarterback spot. And he would go to a division in the NFC East where he would get a lot of publicity because of all of the iconic brands in that division. Aaron Rodgers, as for what he said on the Pat McAfee show, which has gotten these trade rumors heated up, he said, quote, "Sounds like there's already conversations going on that aren't involving me," which obviously, he continued to say, are somewhat problematic. And we're talking about Aaron Rodgers as well because Mike Silver, formerly the NFL Network, went to Cal, has connections with Aaron Rodgers as well as the Bay Area, said this on the Colin Cowherd podcast. The other thing you're thinking about very hard is Aaron Rodgers. You're like, okay, we tried everything to trade for him 2 years ago if you're the Niners, even after making the trade for the pick they used to take Trey Lance. Up until the draft, that night of draft night, Mike Silver said, the 49ers were trying to convince the Packers to talk to them about an Aaron Rodgers trade. Now, not everyone, he said, plays at a high level until they're 45. That's freakish. The cap charge for Rodgers with that option pickup, you're going to owe a lot of guaranteed money, but the cap charge will only be 31 or something million for 2023. If you do Rodgers, you're like, okay, we're going to have him for 2 to 3 years for sure. And San Francisco would, of course, have to figure out the salary cap situation because money isn't all that tight, but it's somewhat tight considering the cap charge for Rodgers. It's more so guaranteed money, though, as Silver pointed out, and not as much of the cap hit. And for the 49ers, either way, if they trade for Rodgers, going to have to make some difficult decisions. Do you trade away a player like a George Kittle, a Fred Warner? Do you trade away a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who you might have to pay big money to after this year because he's going into year 4 with a potential 5th-year option? Those are the types of moves, and I'm not saying the Niners are going to do that, but the types of moves you have to think about to clear up some money. As for the Niners salary cap situation, the NFL salary cap will be a record $224.9 million this year. The 49ers currently have $16.5 million. So a good amount of coin. And when you take a gander at their 2023 cap hits, there are some restructures that can take place here in order to free up some cash. Like if Trent Williams were to retire, that's a lot of money that comes free. San Francisco has already restructured the contract for Eric Armstead a couple of times, so they probably can't restructure that again. Can you restructure a George Kittle, a Fred Warner? Nick Bosa has that 5th-year option, but he's in line for a contract extension. Charvarius Ward, Christian McCaffrey, Trey Lance, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk, also sizable cap hits for the Niners heading into this upcoming season. Now, why Aaron Rodgers to the Bay Area could happen. Aaron Rodgers grew up as a 49ers fan. He's from Chico, California. He went to Butte Community College before transferring to Cal. That's where he was a first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers after the Niners had passed on him, and instead they drafted Alex Smith number 1 many, many years ago. He is a scheme fit because Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan do have similar offensive philosophies. LaFleur, of course, worked with Kyle Shanahan, got that job with Green Bay after also being with Sean McVay. Sean McVay also worked with Kyle Shanahan. All these guys see the game of offensive football in a similar light. The Niners, as Mike Silver had reported, had targeted Aaron Rodgers before they had drafted Trey Lance as early and as recent as draft night when they took Lance at number 3. And if Aaron Rodgers cares about his legacy, going to the San Francisco 49ers is Aaron Rodgers' best chance to win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, I'm talking to you here. There's no way that Aaron Rodgers should go to the New York Jets if he has his opportunity to choose his next destination. If Aaron Rodgers is serious about his legacy, if Aaron Rodgers is serious about winning a Super Bowl, it's not the New York Jets who give him the best opportunity. It's the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that is loaded with offensive weaponry that can complement Aaron Rodgers. From Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell in the backfield to George Kittle, who revived his career after the midway point of the season with 11 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel was an all-pro as early as 2021. Brandon Ayuk is an emerging star, in my opinion. He surpassed 1,000 receiving yards for the first time in his career. If Trent Williams does not retire, you have a star left tackle. On the defensive side of the football, Nick Bosa is the probable defensive player of the year. The Niners have the best linebacking core in the NFL, led by Fred Warner, who's 26, and still Dre Greenlaw, who's in his mid-20s. The cornerback situation is in a good spot with Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, and if you bring back Emmanuel Mosley, even better. Talanoa Hufanga was named an AP All-Pro. And if Aaron Rodgers wants to win a Super Bowl, you team up with Kyle Shanahan with the way that he sees the game of offensive football. You saw that with Brock Purdy in his 7 starts prior to the NFC Championship game defeat. This is a Niners team that was averaging more than 30 points per game during their 12-game tear that they went on after starting the year 3-4. They were averaging more than 30 points per game. You can use McCaffrey as a running back or as a slot wide receiver. The 49ers give Aaron Rodgers the best opportunity to win that coveted second Super Bowl. And by winning that second Lombardi trophy, it vaults Aaron Rodgers into a completely different category among some of the great quarterbacks of all time. Right now, he's seen as somewhat of a choke artist, as a guy who's come up short, who's only played in 1 Super Bowl, who's failed to fulfill the expectations of being arguably the most gifted thrower of the football of all time. The 49ers, the one need that they have with the Super Bowl capable roster is the quarterback position. And Aaron Rodgers, the one thing that he needs is another Super Bowl. He grew up in Chico. He went to Butte Community College. He went to Cal. The Niners passed on him back in the day and took Alex Smith instead of Rodgers, make it all right, have the storybook ending, come back to the Bay Area where you grew up idolizing Joe Montana, Steve Young, and the San Francisco 49ers, and finish your career with another ring. Aaron Rodgers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, get on the same page, make it happen. And for Rodgers, don't go to the New York Jets. They've been dysfunctional for a reason. You know what's going to happen with the Jets. They're dog. Come to the San Francisco 49ers and get on that quest for 6. So Rodgers also can mentor Purdy. Before retiring, he can mentor Trey Lance as well. It all makes too much sense if the 49ers don't believe that Purdy's can come back from that elbow injury. If they don't have faith in Trey Lance, Rodgers makes a lot of sense. So the big looming question here, I know a lot of people in the faithful don't like his personality. I like his game, though, and that's all that matters. T for trade, P for pass. Let us know down in the comment section. Salute to all of you who support the show, and we appreciate you.